Now, the new update probably is already released. I don't know when this video will be up, but the new update kind of changed the way cloaks work. Not only the cloaking devices, but a lot of things have been changed. Now, I am not necessarily against the idea to give cloaks a fuel source, but it kind of gets problematic when you consider the fact that your scanners will use fuel. There is just so many modules using fuel nowadays, and cloaky ships have definitely been kind of crippled when it comes to how long they can operate without refueling. Now, one of my friends did the mathematics, and I think it's like 4 hours and 35 minutes of constantly being cloaked without using any scanners. With the scanners being actively used, that is definitely significantly less. I would say maybe about 3 hours, but we will see how that will work when when the update is live. Now, today we'll be doing some good old PvP, and I'll be flying drone boats, battleships, you know, the usual. And I think I have one troll ship somewhere placed in the video. I believe that's going to be kind of funny to see what I'll do. Now, besides that, my internet, as you can see here, is not treating me well. Trying to lock on the oracle to see, and I'm actually locking on the oracle while cloaked. Impossible to happen in the game. That's because I'm currently experiencing a ping spike. But thankfully, before I reset the Wi-Fi, it came back to, you know, it started to work properly. So the first target that we will have today is a oracle. Now, I will creep up on the oracle. Doesn't seem to be... No, the oracle seems to be aware that I'm hunting, mostly because they warped off the mission a couple of times, and they returned, and they're orbiting. So I'm fairly sure, fairly confident that they're at least aware that there's someone in the system creeping around in something cloaky, or fairly sure that they know that I am around in one way or the other. Now I have 4 scramblers, should be hopefully enough to hold them. I actually started to use the Stratios with scramblers only ever since I upgraded the Bombard tactic implant. I kind of stopped using the web on this thing, since usually everything pops in a couple of moments. And they do have the illusionary ghost nanocore, so yeah, perhaps we're looking at something with a lot of stabs. So I will keep approaching until I'm close, and yeah, I think it's almost time to engage. And on the other ships, I also upgraded a nanocore. Perhaps we'll upgrade even more. I don't know. Still haven't really decided what I'll do with it, but more on that when I fly that specific ship. Now the oracle is not moving towards my direction, actually moving away from me, but I'm slowly catching up. Definitely it's been a very slow chase here. And I'm actually waiting for the battleship to be destroyed so that I can tackle them while being covered by the NPC ships, and yeah, this is going to work. They are not going to see me on time, and yeah, they have been engaged, they have been scrambled, and now I'll orbit at 0. Yeah, by the time they realize that I'm around, it's already too late. And this is a sneaky little trick that I love to do with the Stratios. Just creep up, wait for them to finish off a wave, and then when the next wave spawns, that's when you engage, and that's where you kill them. It was a good kill. Some good loot, hopefully. And let me warp out to a random position in space. Or random anomaly, since it doesn't really matter where I go with the Stratios. It can cloak As long as it can cloak, I should be safe. There we go. Cloaked and hidden in the shadows. Spooky. Now that did feel like a good kill. We're about to see what build the Oracle had. Could be expensive, could be cheap. Well, it's almost 800 million. It's average. So yeah, not bad. They did not have any warp core optimizers. That's kind of weird. I expected at least warp core optimizers, 3 of them. 3 warp core 3s. But apparently they didn't have any, which is honestly rare. Next we have a sleepy rattlesnake. My friend and I have stalked this rattlesnake for a while, and they did log out in space. And that means we're about to have some fun with the Dominic's Navy. The Dominic's Navy became my primary PvP battleship, mostly because of the Bombard tactic Implant, and I'm still waiting for that new module for this ship. Should enhance the DPS quite a bit, honestly exciting. Well, there is the rattlesnake, sleepy rattlesnake. And let's just open fire and let's destroy the sleep battleship. Now I have been thinking about changing the weapons, change the primary weapons on the Dominics, primarily into missiles. I don't really mind using autocannons, but I just feel like missiles are more natural. Or maybe I'll just go with blasters, because why not? It's a Galanta ship. Galanta ship should be using blasters, so I definitely think that blasters would work well. Should maybe give more DPS than the autocannons, but we'll have to check that when I change the modules. We'll also have to check the skills. I know I spent a lot of times killing into stuff, but have to double check to see if the skills are on, in place. Well, there goes the rattlesnake. That was kind of hilarious. Now let's take a look at the kill. 4.1 billion. Not bad, actually, not a bad build. Kinda like it. Unfortunately, the drones did not drop. Would be funny if the drones dropped. Would be a very good kill. I mean, still, it still is a very good kill. Unfortunately, we did not get a lot of ESC out of the kill, but I guess that's fine. Also, look how big the Dominic's is compared to the rattlesnake. I forgot how big the ship actually is. It's a very large battleship. And the rattlesnake does seem to be rather small, although they're kind of similar in size. The Dominic's is just a big old space potato. I seriously like this ship. It is wild.
Warp drive active.
It also has 4 scrammers, although this build will be changed because it will have that special module which will give the ship hopefully a little bit more DPS to play around with. Will be funny to see how that will go. Now, ship that I haven't been using in a very long time. Well, actually I have been using this quite often lately. It's one of my favorite frigates in the game at the moment. We have a Executioner 2. I think it's a fair target for the Inquisitor 2. Both ships are same tier. The only difference is the Executioner is a combat ship. This isn't a combat ship. This is a loggy frigate. And what is this Executioner doing? I have absolutely no idea. They are far away from the anomaly. Initially I thought that they would warp off, but they are not warping off. And if they did pay attention to the ship tech tree, they probably know that this is a loggy frigate, so they might think that I am harmless. Or in some cases, they might actually think that I am here to help them to clear the mission here, but oh, that's not the case, obviously. Now, what was that name of that little frigate in the beta test? E-War Inquisitor? Oh, it wasn't a, it was a Crucifer E-War. That was a Crucifer E-War. That's a ship that I really miss. I really wish that we'd had the E-War frigates. I would fly them. They were so fun. I mean, maybe they will be added with the upcoming ship modification system. Maybe they will be added. If they are getting added, I'll be very happy. Well, this executioner is not warping off, that's for sure. They are still there. Well, I'll still approach. Although this is kind of funny, since by now I would be gone out of the system if I were doing a anomaly and I see something warping and go up and approach me, I'm gone. I would not be waiting for the ship to get close to me. That would never happen. Well, they have been webbed and scrambled, and now I'm opening fire. Yeah, they are definitely in trouble now. Well, turns out this loggy frigate has some teeth. This loggy frigate can bite. Okay, it doesn't bite too hard, but it still has teeth. And I'll also kill the pods, and then we will be warping off. I still find these ships pretty hilarious and pretty fun to fly. They're just, I don't know, you can fly them and just have fun and not worry about anything. Doesn't matter what tech level you are, this works with Alpha, works with Omega. They're seriously funny ships to use. Okay, let me align myself and I'll also dock. Let's take a look at the kill though. Well, 4 million, almost flat 4 million, not bad. Ironically, my ship costs as much as that executioner.
Undocking.
Maybe a little bit more. I forgot. I think I have like prototype rigs on this thing, so it's like literally the cheapest ship I have. Maybe, actually, probably not the cheapest ship, since I also use the Imicus ham ability for combat. I think that's cheaper than the Inquisitor too. Now, we have a Astro, and this is pretty funny. This is one good example of why I avoid running this specific site with this specific background, object. That Astro is stuck in the structure. They are unable to move. They're trying to warp, but they're unable to warp because they're stuck in the hitbox. And you know what that means? That means that's a sitting duck, and that Astro is in big trouble now. They're trying to warp off. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And this is why I really encourage players, if you stumble upon this specific station with this hitbox, don't run the site. Just go find a different site, since there's a good chance that you'll get stuck trying to open a box. And this has been one ongoing thing for a while now. And of course the pod warps off because the pod's hitbox is definitely much smaller than the hitbox of an Astro, so they're able to just warp without a problem. I also have to be careful not to get stuck with this thing. This is a much larger ship than the Astro, so I have to be careful. And the ships, the game is looking at ships as spheres. That's how the game does register the ships. So it doesn't matter if the ship is oval, if the ship is tall, it's a sphere. That's how the game looks at the ship. So you have to basically act like you're flying a spherical ship. And that really? Are you gonna be kidding me? Really? Nothing dropped? Well, okay. At least I got a good kill out of this, but that's some bad luck. If I ever, at least I got some Sister of Eve debris, but man, could have been a 5
Undocking.
billion E sculptor up there, based on the current market prices. Anyway, we are continuing flying the Stratios. I just love to fly this thing. It's currently one of my favorite ships. Because of how evil drone boats are. They're just very
Warp
evil.
drive active.
And they are scary. Drone boats are still the most lethal weapon system in the game. Which is funny because if you remember, most of you probably remember, how hated drones used to be, since everyone kept saying how inferior they are compared to other weapon systems. What's the situation now? Completely different, isn't it? Now drones are dominating. It is funny how it turned.
Warp
The
drive
tide
active.
turned completely, and it's going to turn again down the road for sure. But we have another assault battlecruiser, and well, this one has a lot of stats. I am fairly sure I seen the kill somewhere, and that battlecruiser has a lot of stabs. So 16 points in this case are justified. Usually I would use like 3 and a web just to speed tank at 0, but nowadays it's not really necessary for me to use a web. And this ship is also moving around. They were actually right at my spot where I warped in, but they're moving, so they could potentially have a micro warrior for an afterburner or similar. So we will do the good old approach. Now I am considering changing the rigs on the Stratios, and I'm considering actually giving this ship a lot more speed, since honestly the Stratios is literally the slowest cruiser in the game. Not necessarily wrong, or there's nothing wrong with the ship for being slow. It's just when you're trying to approach something cloaked, it doesn't matter how slow they are, you will also be slow, and in most cases the difference in ship velocity will be minimal, so your approach will be long, and that's why I usually prefer to find a good warp in, and that's where I like to intercept the target. In this case there is no good warp in, and my only good chance to catch this ship is by approaching it, and I can just hope that they make a mistake. But I can also technically do this, which is kind of a stupid move from my point, but I just could not wait to approach this ship, so I just decided to go and charge at it with an afterburner. If I had a micro warrior, I would have already done this, but I had an afterburner because it's a battlecruiser, and I miraculously managed to catch it, and I managed to destroy it. This worked because they haven't been paying attention. The battlecruiser hasn't been paying attention, and they haven't been aligned, which did buy me enough time to approach and to drop the drones, the bombs, and to destroy the ship. I don't recommend that you do what I did here, because
Warp drive
in most
active.
cases the ship will warp off. I still recommend that you approach and then attack when you are within range. If you have a micro warrior, you can pull this off, but I really don't recommend this because it's kind of risky and you might miss the target. But I wasn't patient enough. I just, wanted to kill the battlecruiser, and I did. No, I said they might have a lot of stabs. It's a pretty good kill value. Oh my, could you fit more aura stabs? The only thing that this ship was missing are warp core rigs, but that's a lot of stabs for sure. Aura stab has like 4 stabs per module, so they had 12 stabs. I can still hold them with 4 scrummers. And I said I'll do something pretty stupid today. Well, I mean stupid. Not exactly stupid, but funny. And have you ever seen a battle mammoth? I sure haven't. until today. And yeah, let's go and eat something with this thing,
Warp drive active.
because why not? I already said that I'll have a kill mark on every ship available in the game, and that does include industrial ships. That means at one point I'll also eat a Tyra, I'll also eat all sorts of ships. Now, this is only a venture, but nonetheless, that venture probably very confused now. They are wondering, what is a Mammoth doing in a belt? Are they here to join me mining? Well, technically you can do mining with the Mammoth, since this ship I think has a ore cargo hold, so it can carry minerals. Funny enough, the Mammoth can actually be a very good ship for alternative mining. I need to drop this thing on a covetor or something at one point, because I think that's gonna be pretty hilarious to drop a Mammoth on a covetor and kill it with the Mammoth. Does have a micro warp drift, and yeah, does have points. Has 2 mid slots and has 2 high slots. More than enough to be combat ready for my taste. And now the Venture is probably very confused. Why is the Mammoth launching missiles at me? Well, because this Mammoth is a bit different. This Mammoth is out for blood. This Mammoth likes to blow up ships. And well, yeah, Venture has been destroyed. Let me pick up the wreck and then we can safely dock. Imagine just chilling in your covetor and then a random Mammoth just drops on top of you and kills you. I would uninstall probably. If I ever get killed by Mammoth, I will probably uninstall. That's the thing that's probably going to happen.
Warning, capacitor running
Anyway,
low.
that was kind of funny, and I think that would be it for today. Well, I definitely had fun. So far, it's been a pretty good. This has been recorded in a single day, I believe. So overall, I think it was a pretty successful day so far. Definitely more funny moments up ahead for sure. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.